Hello and welcome to the CultCast, the most okay Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I knew that was going to get you, Lewis. I'm your host, Leanna Caney. Joining me today, we have Lewis Wallace, beaming in from about 2 blocks away. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good, very good. And D. Griffin Jones from across the country in Ohio. Hey, Griffin.
Good evening. Across the information superhighway.
That's right. That's right. Well, we've got an awesome show this week. Absolutely awesome. We're going to be talking about Apple's awe-dropping event coming up. We're going to be talking about a massive, massive shake-up in Apple's case strategy. We have an awesome how-to about how to combine emojis.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to be talking about this first ergonomic or dual ultra-wide setup. And then we have a question about why we aren't on Mastodon. And there's a good reason for that, which we'll get into later. Oh, and I'm going to be reviewing the PowerBeats Pro 2 from the latest sports earbuds from Beats. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is a great way to start a personalized website. And they have this awesome new design system where it guides you through the design called Squarespace Blueprint. You can choose from professionally curated layout and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up, tailored to your brand or business, and optimized for every device. You can easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated, optimized SEO tools so your work shows up more often to more people and you can grow the way you want. One of the advantages of Squarespace is they have this really flexible payment system. You can make checkout seamless for your customers with simple but powerful payment tools. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay. And in eligible countries, you can offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. This is a great way to sell content. If you have any content that you want to sell online, you can add up a paywall or sell memberships or courses. You can sell files for your customers to download, PDFs, music, or ebooks. So go to squarespace.com/cultcast for 10% off, a massive 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with code CultCast at checkout. Don't forget CultCast at checkout. All right, thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this week's show. We couldn't do it without you. Yeah, so this week, Lewis, massive news. We finally got the invite to the September event.
We did?
Well, we didn't.
The world did.
The internet did, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awe-dropping, man. We've been waiting. Now we know the date. September 9, that's when the next Apple product launch happens. Well, it's officially known as the theme, as I mentioned. Awe-dropping. And Leandra, when I heard this, I was like, another pun. How you are, you're well known to dislike puns and headlines. Yeah. So how do you feel about Apple's never-ending array of cheeky little puns about their...
Well, when they do it, it's okay.
All right, then.
When anyone else does it, it's horrible. This one is all right. I mean, this one's kind of clever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so it's awe-dropping, and doesn't really tell you what's going to be at the event, but of course it's going to be the iPhone 17 lineup. The image on the event's invitation, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a glowing, multicolored Apple logo. Kind of looks like a, how's it pronounced? FLIR, F-L-I-R, forward-looking infrared image, like Predator Vision, if you remember that movie. Predator
Vision, right? It's a thermal image, isn't it? It's definitely thermal. In fact, didn't the file name for the image was something thermal? It literally mentioned thermal.
I can't remember the alt text. Yeah, I remember reading that, and now I've completely forgotten what it said, but...
So now we know what the
Shocker.
hottest part of the Apple logo is. We know that the top of the apple and the leaf are very cold. The bottom of the leaf is very hot. The bottom of the apple is kind of warm, but the bite, the equator of the apple is very hot because in this invitation, it's mostly black. There's like some blues in there, but the yellows around the bottom and then like a hot red ring around the edge of the apple. So that is now canonical information. The bite of the apple is the hottest part.
As it should be, right.
Mm-hmm. And not just a small difference, like a very big difference. Like it's glowing red. So.
Yeah. And if you happen to look at it on an iPhone or an iPad, you can press it and it interacts with your finger, the touch, which is kind of a cool little Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, of course, people peering at this thing and wondering, does it offer any hints about what's coming? Some people think it's a hint about vapor cooling coming to the iPhone, which is a rumor we've heard. Others with bigger dreams, like, for instance, our own Leander Caney, thinks that maybe it's about the Apple Watch blood pressure monitoring, or, as Leander also said, maybe it means nothing.
Is there a link between Apple Watch blood pressure monitoring and like thermal imaging? Is that how they work?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, the sensor, maybe it's evocative of the blood pressure monitoring sensor, the light that shines on the back of the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
But it's not really a thermal image. It's infrared, isn't it? So, yeah, I guess it is. Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Is it?
I mean, there's two different layers to it. There's how the sensor actually works, and then there's how Apple marketing chooses to depict how the sensor works, which is often very different. Like, for example, with Apple Silicon, the actual chip doesn't look like Apple's neat little tidy like wireframe diagram with like, oh yes, here are the RAM chips here's the GPU, here's this. Like that's pretty much completely fake. So Apple might choose to depict the blood pressure thing with like a sort of, pulsating blue, yellow, red animation that kind of evokes that. But, that's kind of a stretch. That's me stretching to fit your theory there.
Yeah, right. Which is a stretch in the first place.
I've heard other, like Steve Troughton-Smith, I think, might have linked it to like, maybe this is, there have been rumors of like the AirPods Pro 3 coming at this event ahead of other rumors. And there's rumors that would have like, in-ear, like, what do you call it? Like heart rate monitoring,
heart rate monitoring, yeah.
Temperature, whatever, maybe more health sensors in the AirPods. And maybe that could be the link there.
I think the vapor cooling is probably the thing, right? The most likely, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, is a new cooling system for the iPhones. Is it going to be on the regulars or just the Pros? Anyone know?
I've read both things. I've read things that say iPhone 17 lineup, but then I've also seen things that say specifically, supposedly coming to the Pro models, just so that they have better, better performance, right? Because cooler.
And I've also heard maybe only
better.
The Pro Max. So.
Oh, really?
All over the map.
Well, it couldn't be a less exciting feature to highlight, right?
Right.
I mean, that's not exactly awe-dropping. And
a lot of people have been complaining about the heat of the latest iPhones. Like the iPhone 15 got hot. The iPhone 16 also gets pretty hot. I think like people who actually use these phones, especially people who use them without cases, feel very often my phone is getting unusually hot in my hand, especially after running the iOS 26 betas all summer.
Right, that'll heat them up. Yeah, well, I've never had a problem with heating with my phone, but then again, I never do anything like really spectacular on it. But
or if you ever use Apple Intelligence, like I was using, I'll be running Genmoji like later in this show. My phone's going to get very hot after doing that for a few minutes.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, running Apple Intelligence heats up your phone a lot if you're using like the writing tools or image cleanup or stuff like that, or especially image playground. And, if these are features that Apple wants to put in their phones, like cooling them down more effectively means that your phone can run faster and for longer and uses less battery because it doesn't have to underclock to, keep itself from melting like an Apple III.
I never noticed that Apple Intelligence makes the iPhone run hot. I wonder why.
That's right.
Yeah. So should we talk about what else we think's coming in with this thing? I mean,
yeah. Let's. What are we going to expect?
I was thinking about this. Of course, iPhone 17. 4 models supposedly: the normie, regular iPhone, the Pro and Pro Max, the expanded camera module, and super slender new iPhone Air is what we think it's going to be called. Other products, supposedly Apple Watch Series 11 and maybe Apple Watch Ultra 3. People are talking about that more and more, so maybe that's actually coming. AirPods Pro 3 with heart rate monitoring, as you mentioned. iPhone cases. Oh, my God, who can wait to see the new iPhone cases? The other thing that when I was thinking about this, this is when Apple's going to, reintroduce liquid glass, right? They're going to pretend nobody knows what liquid glass is. Mm-hmm. Remember how they always do that? They always basically do a WWDC rerun of all the software stuff. So that might be like the main part of the show. Who knows?
I hope they do that sort of in the middle of the show, so I have time to finish whatever articles I'm writing and catch up.
Yeah, we should have a office pool on which device will be mentioned first, because then that person always gets plucked out of the conversation has to go hammer out their news post about it.
It's
right?
almost always the Apple Watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it has, from what I can remember.
They usually do Apple Watch, AirPods, and iPhone, or like maybe regular iPhones, AirPods, and then they end with the Pro phones.
For the life of me, I can't remember what order they do this stuff in.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, your experience of the Apple events is even more so of a tornado than mine, so I don't blame you there. You're probably editing them in the wrong order, and you've tuned out the actual live event like 30 minutes ago. It's also pretty likely, like Mark Gurman seems insistent that they're going to come out with an Apple TV 4K. I think the 4th generation one now, so that might come as well. I guess another question is like, what are we expecting to buy?
Yeah, well, I'm actually for the first time ever just going to get the regular iPhone, not a Pro model, which would be the first time ever in the history of iPhones.
Are you actually going to go with the regular iPhone, or are you going to wait for the iPhone 17e?
The regular iPhone, just the regular one. Yeah. But we'll see. I don't know. It's hard to. It is really tempting. All the Pro features, the cameras, even though I don't really use them so much anymore because my kids have grown up now, so what do I take pictures of? The cat. It's
Neighbors.
it's it's that fear of missing out. It's like, oh God, what if I do need that, I'm going to go on vacation. What if I need that?
Yeah, you say that now. I bet after the event, you're going to be much more conflicted about that, and you're going to end up buying the Pro phones because Apple's going to Apple's going to make the Pro phone look really, really good, and you're going to be like, oh, but I have to have it.
Like I could record an album in my hotel room.
Right. Well, I think Apple Intelligence, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. Like, as long as they support Apple Intelligence, which even though it's not great, some of it is good, and those are more essential, I think. Having those software features are more important than having the super fancy cameras, because the cameras on the regular phones are just as good. For the kind of photography I do, the sort of snap stuff, they're perfectly adequate. In fact, I can't even tell the difference. I mean, I was looking at some of my mom's pictures, and even though she's a terrible photographer, they actually look okay. They look fine.
I mean, the entry level phones also have like the 2x optical zoom, that just crops the sensor in. But you're only really missing out the advanced features nobody ever uses, like cinematic mode and all that stuff, and the telephoto. So
yeah. Well, I don't even like telephoto, shots, landscape anyway. I mean, they're good for portraits. That's probably the best reason to use them. But yeah, I've never used the cinematic mode, never once. Except I think when I was testing it, and then I never went back to it. I probably should. I probably am missing out on using these things. But
do it for your documentary.
Yeah, which documentary? It's the life of Leander Caney.
That's why I love all these. When they do these events and things, it's so much aspirational stuff. Oh wow, you can do all this amazing stuff with this tool, and then you get it, and you're like, well, I guess I'll send my darts team a text message. And it's like, it's nice to know that you could do this stuff if you ever, had time to pursue something creative or, chose to take some time to do something creative. Apple Watch Ultra especially is that way. Oh my God, I could be climbing a mountain. The other big rumor about the iPhone Pro is that it's going to be orange, right? So this is the one thing that I am super curious about, and I'm almost certain I'm going to be disappointed. I'm almost certain that the orange will be just a boring orange.
Like slightly peach.
Yeah.
Are you bracing yourself for that?
I'm thinking more on the brown edge of things. And I posted something on Twitter, which is a very vibrant community. Lots of people showcasing what I want it to look like. I mean, I want it to look like I actually searched it up what this is called, metal flake candy paint job. Like on a custom car. That's what I want. I want it to look just super vibrant and like, whoa, look at that thing. I want people to almost, if you're out in the sun, to almost have to like, shield their eyes. I mean, to be fair, that's one of the things about even the dullest iPhone Pro colors. Like if you get them outside, you can see a little bit of speckling, a little bit of fleck, and it actually starts to look slightly less dull and corporate and boring. So, I think they should just take that to 11 and just make that orange phone like the most obnoxious, brilliant orange color that's ever been seen on a custom car.
Right. Make it look like a lowrider.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not going to happen, Lewis. You're wishful thinking.
I know. I'm wishful thinking. Come on.
Yeah. Like you said, brown. Kind of peachy brown.
Orangish brown.
Yeah. I mean, remember, what was the color of the purple one? You remember you got really excited about that? And
Deep purple.
You bought not one, but two.
Yeah. The wife and I both got them. She plucks it out of the box. She goes, that's not purple. And as I mentioned before, if you took it outside, it almost looked slightly purple, and there was a little bit of fleck and stuff that looked kind of cool. But inside it's just like, oh, geez, another bluish, black, purpley, like the color of a bad bruise, basically.
I mean, Apple designs these things in like under like 2,000 lumen lights that are just like blasting them with their full potential color, reflecting the most light possible. So they've got a skewed environment there.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the advantages about going with a regular phone. It's going to be, like I'll have a range of nice bright colors to choose from. And I really like that. What ultramarine, is that what they call the kind of bluey?
Yeah.
One?
Mm-hmm. That was it. That's actually, I mean, that's closer to what I'm looking for, and I hope to God they actually do it. I mean, there's been so much talk about this orange iPhone Pro, so I don't know.
Well, which one are you going to get then? Do you think that's probably what you're going to be leaning for, the Pro Max?
No, not a Max. No, Pro Max is too much. Way too much phone. I just can't put myself through another year of it. It's too big, too uncomfortable. Even I picked up my iPhone 17 or 16 Pro today, and I'm like, it's so big. I mean, they're large phones, even the small ones. So I don't know. I'll probably go with the 17 Pro. Just and to be honest, only because I'm on the upgrade program. I mean, at this point, I don't. If I was not a member of that, there's no way I would buy a new phone this year. Mine is totally fine. The battery's totally fine. There's not a single thing wrong with it. Nothing. It's never too slow. It's never too hot. It's never too anything. It's just fine. And I could probably use it for 2 more years. But no, I'm on this upgrade program, which I'm starting to wonder should I do it? But
yeah, I mean, there was a fun thing on Mastodon, which is a fun community of a lot of engaged Apple enthusiasts, where people are comparing their battery stats against each other's. And
I've
like,
heard of it.
All 6 of them, yeah.
I still have like 100% of my battery capacity available, and it's been almost a year, and I've only like cycled it like 260 times. So battery is not a problem for me at all.
Yeah, I see people complain about the battery all the time, and I always see these screenshots, battery life, it's down to 96%, and people are losing their minds over it. One of the things I did that you just reminded me is that I think this is the first phone I've had that hasn't been destroyed. It hasn't got any cracks.
Really?
I've had it in a bumper case all year, but there's no screen cracks. I don't have
that's a full case, not a
protector
bumper
on it.
case.
Let's be clear,
So
that's not a bumper
I beg your pardon,
case.
sorry, a silicone case, yeah, beg your pardon, silicone case. And yeah, no screen cracks. I usually put a screen protector on it, but there's no screen cracks at all. And I think this is a testament to the ceramic glass that they use to protect these devices.
Ceramic shield, is that what it's called?
Ceramic shield, yeah. No dings, no scratches on it at all. They're much more durable than they used to be.
Well, you're so excited to talk about bumper cases, so let's move on to the next story here. Apple supposedly considered a bumper case for the iPhone 17 Air that surrounded the phone's edge, leaving the back exposed. Such a design would help strike a balance between the 17 Air's ultra-thin 5.5 millimeter frame with some everyday durability. As Mark Gurman puts it, the case would be similar to the bumper case that Apple offered for the iPhone 4 from 2010. People have a lot of nostalgia for that phone. Maybe people don't have nostalgia for AntennaGate, but bringing back some retro design there in the way that Apple might. It's unclear if Apple will launch the bumper-style case for the iPhone 17 Air, though. Internal testing doesn't always mean the company will publicly launch the product, and we haven't seen any leaks from Majin Buu about this. But then again, we haven't really seen anything from Majin Buu about the iPhone 17 Air specifically, so,
Right, it's just been cases, isn't it? Yeah, mostly.
A report from May pointed to Apple considering launching a battery case for the iPhone 17 Air that would snap magnetically onto the back of the thin phone and extend its battery life by about 50%, which would help because it's a thinner device and it won't have as good of a battery. There also might be the new rumored tech-woven cases for it. We don't know, and this is now one of the only remaining areas of the iPhone event that we seemingly don't know anything about. And so hopefully that stays that way because we'll have at least one surprise. But
A bumper case. Whoa! Mind blown.
nobody's like really had bumper case. I know Airphone has a bumper case on his phone.
Well,
But
I think there's a good reason for that.
You know what?
Yeah.
I tried one a couple of years ago. It was the Rhino Shield, as a matter of fact, the one that Airfond loves, and it's okay. It's all right. I don't understand why, really. I mean, in fact, the camera bump is so thick that the bumper case ends up feeling like ridiculously thick.
yeah, that's true. The Apple's original bumper cases were designed in a time before we had protruding cameras at all.
So how would an iPhone 17 Air bumper case handle the camera bump then? I mean, it would.
Maybe I can imagine like maybe they have like a thin bumper around the edge, but then around the camera bar at the top, like it gets a little thicker. But the part that you hold at the bottom of the phone stays a little thin. I could imagine that being a potential design.
Yeah. And aren't they kind of useless though? I mean, they're okay if you drop the phone on the edge, but if you drop it face down or on the screen,
Well, it has a little bit of a lip, so
No,
even if it falls face down, it still doesn't hit it. I mean, the thing about phones is like if you drop them, I think like anywhere above 3 feet, like mathematically, it's almost always going to hit on the corner.
I guess. Can't say I'm very excited about the bumper case, but
Battery pack makes sense.
This would be the product to bring it back for. Like the iPhone 17 Air is the device that emphasizes thinness, and the bumper case is, like why not bring back a fun, unique style of case? And if you want a regular case, they'll probably still make the regular silicone cases for it too, or you can buy the myriad of third-party ones. But I think it would be a fun revival for a fun new phone that goes back to sort of that Johnny Ive aesthetic, anyways.
yeah. And talking about the iPhone Air, I think I'm going to change my choice. I don't think I'm going to get the regular iPhone after all. I think I'm going to get the iPhone Air.
You're so impressionable.
I think that's going to be the one to get, isn't it?
You're going to get whatever is the last one Apple talks about.
Yeah, precisely. Oh, I want that one. No, that one. Yeah, I know. They're going to be pulled in eight different ways.
Tuesday is going to be a roller coaster. Oh, I guess we didn't actually specify when the event is in our story. The event is Tuesday, September 9th.
Yeah, I think we said that.
Did we?
I think I said that. It's 10 a.m. Pacific is when it starts. You can stream
okay.
it. As everybody knows, you can go Apple's event site. I think you can stream it on YouTube if you don't want to use Safari. And big fun. God, it's going to be all pre-recorded again, isn't it?
I like the pre-recorded stuff. I mean, people are complaining about Google's event, the Pixel phones, and what a complete, like they were saying that it suffered because it was a live event. They would have been better if they'd done it pre-recorded.
Well, it suffered because it was a badly done live event. It was like a home shopping network thing, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, it's got IP76 dust protection.
But even the Google people, I mean, it just seemed like it had that kind of a, kind of a tawdry vibe. Yeah, it wasn't even goofy. It was just like not great. But the one thing about it, and I've talked about this for years, the live things, it's more vibrant. It's more live. There's more of a sense of like something could go wrong. Something could be, I don't know, vaguely humanistic, as opposed to just like trotting out the latest AI polished presenters. I mean, I question sometimes if some of these people are actually a living, breathing people. They're so. I also would like to know how many takes they do on these things. Like how many takes for the 2-minute spiel on the latest Apple Watch health feature. Not that I'm casting aspersion on any one particular presenter or anything. I mean, I just they're all so cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's a fire hose of information, which makes it really hard for us specifically to write about because there's no pauses. Whenever they switch presenters, walking off stage, walking back on stage, like that's the moment when we all catch up on our writing.
It's like some kind of freaking DJ set that just never stops. It's just it just an hour and a half long, just nonstop.
Yeah, well, I know. I went back and watched the last one after like you said, while it was live, we were all working and we were all trying to like bang out these posts about what they're talking about. But then after I went back and watched it, and, it was totally enjoyable. I really quite, I like that fire hose of information. You get, and they're kind of disciplined about, they'll talk about 4 or 5 features or whatever. They trot them off pretty good. You get a pretty good overview of what the product does and what its features are. The transitions are always kind of fun. They have a bit of sense of humor in them.
The transitions are always fun. And that's iPhone 17. And now back to you.
Yeah, and then there's some sweeping shot as they fly,
those
through
things,
a drone through the Apple Space campus.
Right. Yeah, I would like it if they used less boilerplate language. Mm-hmm. But I agree, they effectively communicate a whole hell of a lot of information in a very short time. So
and the pre-recorded format allows them to have more variety of presenters as well. Present like the direct manager of this project rather than having Greg Joswiak talk about the entire iPhone.
Yeah, I suppose there's advantages, and I'm not saying they're poorly done. I think they're excellently done. They just feel kind of so prepackaged.
I don't think. Do you think live events are ever going to come back ever?
No,
it seems unlikely at this stage.
I don't know.
Pull one out for that. Well, actually, here's the phone I'm really excited about: the foldable iPhone, which is going to be coming up in September next year. September 2026. And the latest rumor about this is that it may bring back everyone's favorite biometric ID, Touch ID.
It's definitely yours, right? Works 33% of the time with caney skin.
Right, with my flaky skin. Yeah, no, it's this might actually kill the foldable iPhone for me. So the latest rumor is that it's they call it a book style foldable, going to be launched in September 2026. Due to space constraints, the device will supposedly use Touch ID instead of Face ID. It'll also lack a SIM card slot. It's going to feature 4 cameras, one on the front, one on the inside, and 2 on the back. And it's only going to come in black and white, only black and white. So more interesting, the report claims the foldable will use Apple's new C2 modem. This is a second-gen baseband design, and it'll better compete with Qualcomm's offerings. It'll probably have wave support for the fastest 5G. Okay, that's very exciting.
Yeah,
Apple.
I don't think I've had an iPhone 12, with alleged support for 5G since it debuted in 2020. I don't think I've ever once used like the millimeter wave, like ultra wide, super fast, full power 5G. I don't think once in the last 5 years have I ever been in a location that's had it. So I have yet to be blown back by 5G.
It changes, right, on the in the menu bar on the phone when it uses that. Yeah. It's mine says 5G, but I'm not sure it works.
It'll say like 5G UW or something.
UW. That happens to me every now and then. Still yet to see a blazingly fast download.
Yeah, from what I can recall, that seems to be a sign that it isn't working.
Right.
When that pops up, everything freezes.
It's like trying to use that, and then it flips back to LTE or something. It's like, what? Way to go, Verizon. Killing it in this backwater known as the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah. And the modems, I suppose, Apple's been working, how long has Apple been working on its own modems? They bought Intel's modem team when?
I think in 2019, I want to say.
Yeah, and so they've been trying to crank these things out, but any idea why it's so hard?
Modems, I think, are just one of the most complicated chips that are manufactured, which is pretty much why Qualcomm is the only one that makes them.
And Qualcomm's, are great, aren't they? But then, of course, weren't they in a big patent fight with Qualcomm for years too?
Yeah, like not a patent fight, but I think it was like a licensing fee disagreement. Because every phone basically in the world, if it wants to run 5G, has to buy Qualcomm modems because they were basically the only one that makes them. And so Qualcomm was charging them inordinate prices that Apple didn't want to pay. And so they're like, well, we'll just make our own then. And it's taken them a long time.
Well, I guess like Steve Jobs said, Apple always wants to own the primary technology in its products, and these are only more important. I'm sure they'll offer Apple, if it gets its act together, possibly better battery life, more system on a chip features, kind of thing. And of course, there's satellite now as well, isn't it? Satellite communication is more and more important. And then I guess, Apple's, if it does get this modem expertise, they're going to go on more and more devices. So it's not just phones, but Apple Watches, iPads, maybe the Mac. Maybe the Mac will finally get a modem. In fact, why hasn't the Mac got a modem? Why doesn't the Mac have built-in networking?
It really should. They've run completely out of excuses. At first it was like, well, the Mac's on Intel, the iPhone is all on Apple's, the A series chips, that wouldn't work. Even that excuse didn't really make sense at all, because then the Mac's got T2 chips, which are also like, then there was like, oh, well, it's an iOS thing. And like, well, then they introduced Mac Catalyst. So like you can explicitly like just like run iPhone software on your Mac in the first place. And then like, after they switched the Mac to Apple Silicon, like it's like, oh, well, the excuse was, well, those are Qualcomm chips. Apple's waiting until they can make their own chips. And then, oh, well, the C1 chip, it doesn't support millimeter wave. So that must be the reason. But we're after the C2 chip, they have fresh run out of excuses. They really do need to bring it to the Mac. The iPad, I'll remind you, has had cellular since the very first iPad in 2010.
Yeah, I was going to say, like if the iPad can have it.
If the Apple Watch can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah. AirPods will get it before the Mac. All right, well let's move on to our how-to section. And Griffin, you're going to give us a demo of how to combine emojis in iOS 26. Actually, it's Mac as well too, isn't it? So this works across iPhone, Mac, and iPad.
That's right. So this is a fake conversation I have with a different Apple ID, the name with a person named John Appleseed that I use for demoing iMessage features like this. But here I'll be giving a quick demo of the new features in Genmoji. So Genmoji, you'll recall, is the feature where you can create your own emoji by like giving it a few words or a picture of somebody. But now the hot new Genmoji feature is that you can prompt it with 2 other emoji or 3 or 4 and combine them. So I found a few examples that work pretty well. For example, the skull emoji works well combining with any of the other ones. So you can do skull Santa. I'll find the Santa emoji here. I'll search for the Santa emoji and we can make ourselves a dead Santa. Yeah, there we go. We've combined Christmas and Halloween.
So it's basically The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Now we've got a fresh emoji for that. Santa with a skull. And then you just hit the blue check mark and suddenly you can use this as a sticker. You can use it as a regular emoji. You can still type around it. Anywhere you would use an emoji now. It also works really good with cowboy hats. So you can do type in the cowboy emoji and then let's do a duck and it'll add a cowboy hat to a duck. Really, really cool stuff here.
A duck with 2 beaks. That's great.
It's made an abomination.
Way to go, Apple Intelligence.
But then you swipe over and there you go. You've got a duck wearing a fedora. That's actually pretty excellent, and I'm going to keep that.
At least it's only got 2 legs.
Yeah. It also really works really great with sunglasses. So you type in the sunglasses emoji, and then we can type in, let's get a really off-the-wall one, like clock. Sunglasses, alarm clock. We'll see what happens here.
I shudder to think, hey!
There we go.
It's kind of what you would expect, isn't it? So,
yeah. Though the one thing that it doesn't work with is flags. I was thinking, you can play a little world domination here, combine the U.S. flag with, what would be spicy, the Vatican flag, but it says unable to use that description. Sadly, we cannot celebrate the American Pope with an American Vatican flag.
Can you use the American flag with, for instance, apple pie?
Anytime you type a flag emoji, it says we can't use that description.
What the?
Yeah.
Apple has some weird things that they don't allow you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Flag? What?
Oh,
Why?
Here's an idea. Let's combine the purple splat emoji, splatter, with eggplant. Okay.
Does nothing.
add some sunglasses to it.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
What the hell is that?
I've also found that sometimes it adds hats even when you don't use cowboy as a prompt. It'll just add hats to things.
Oh my God. And a little serving tray? What?
Yeah. It's missing the splatter. I want it to have an aubergine with a splatter.
Maybe it's organized. It must be reading it as platter.
Mm.
Oh.
I mean,
maybe.
It's just that stupid.
Huh.
You put in splatter, it thinks it means platter.
Huh.
That's possible, actually.
Yeah.
Let's do an eggplant with a number one metal. You've got you have the best eggplant. Let's see what happens. There we go. Number one.
That's really great.
That's handy for the garden show.
It's placed the metal in a rather unfortunate place. There we go.
What's
Look at
that? What is that? It almost looks like candy corn. Oh, it's like a little piece of ribbon for the metal.
It has an eggplant, a number one metal, and it looks like it confused the red ribbon, and it made it part eggplant again. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Here's a gold medal with an eggplant on it.
That's a winner. So how many variations does it create whenever you make a new one? It looks like four or five.
It starts by generating 4, but if you keep swiping over, it'll just keep making more. So we'll do another one here. Skull and
do the dances.
Oh, sure. This will be like the movie Coco, you know?
Hey,
look at that.
That looks adequate.
Because this is running on device, like if you keep swiping over, it'll just keep generating more and more and more. Once you hit the end, it starts generating the next one. You have a little spinning emoji, and it'll just keep going.
And this is when your phone heats up.
Yeah, and the more you swipe, you can see it's like you'll get very different styles. Like it'll do like completely different things, as if it's making like different prompts behind the scenes. Like we've got a series in a row where it has like a background on it, but then we swipe over and it goes back to having like sort of a white background cutout, and it'll just keep going here. This one's on the beach, inexplicably. Kind of ignoring the dancer part, but it's really good because if it starts making things and it does it kind of wrong, then you can keep swiping over and it'll keep making more variations. So Genmoji, it's a pretty fun feature. It's the only Apple Intelligence feature that I've observed other people like actively using in the wild. I have a few friends who have like newer iPhones, and they'll occasionally send a Genmoji in a group chat. So
can you do a pig in lederhosen?
Is there a lederhosen emoji? I'll do a pig. Do you want the realistic pig or the pig head?
Pig head, I guess.
Okay, pig head.
Because I'm pig-headed.
And what other emoji do you want to combine it with?
Is there a lederhosen one?
Isn't there a lederhosen kind of character?
What am I thinking of?
What's the what's the sort of English word for that? Kilt? No.
Well.
Oh no, have I just offended a bunch of Europeans?
Yeah,
wrong country.
Oh,
wrong country, laddie.
All right. Let's do pig and a little luggage. Little pigs going on a journey here.
What about a pig and a dog? A pig suitcase.
You can do that. The other day I combined duck with frog, and that made some pretty horrifying results. Let's do that. I'll show you that. Mallard duck and frog face. It gave the duck like a weird like big buggy frog eyes and a bill.
That actually just looks normal. Looks like some kind of Amazon frog. There we go. 3 eyes.
Oh yeah, there you go. Bright green duck with frog eyes and a third duck eye. That's a frog riding a duck's back. That looks like one of those. This looks like that could be like a fake AI video that goes viral on TikTok. Can you believe a frog riding a duck in a pond?
Wow.
There you go. Duck and frog are friends. They're in a pond together. There you go. There's another abomination. It gave it ears for some reason. Like goat ears. Yeah, there we go.
Some of them are kind of Island of Dr. Moreau, but I actually figured it would be more freaky than it was.
Yeah.
There's like an alien with a finger pointing at you. Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah. I made that one. You can combine any of the hand emojis with some of the other emojis to make it to make something special there.
And it saved it to your library. That's cool.
Yeah, in my recently used there. So a lot of fun you can have with this feature. That's Genmoji in iOS 26.
And that's Genmoji in iOS 26.
And when's the official release date for iOS 26? It comes when the new phones are available, right?
It's usually a week after the new phones are available. So the event is on Tuesday the 9th. So it'll probably be the following Monday if I had to hazard a guess. There was the one year where they said, "Oh yeah, and the new operating systems drop tomorrow," and everybody freaked out. So hopefully they never do that again. But that is a background panic in my head that they have the power to do that. But my guess is Monday the 15th.
And like the latest beta kind of looked like the one before the release candidate, but then again, it may not be. There could be. There may be a couple more.
This is kind of an unusual beta cycle, so I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze in another beta 9 next week, and then they have the release candidate the week of the event. But
yeah,
I don't know. All bets are off when they have such a wild year as this in terms of the betas. Although Apple's apps have largely stabilized over the last few beta cycles, the third-party developer story is very different. We're going to see a lot of third-party apps that barely implement Liquid Glass at all, or do it kind of spottily, because there's still a lot of user interface elements that are just completely broken and buggy. Like the worst offender is the iOS fancy navigation bar at the bottom that collapses the tab bar into a special button, and you have the floating toolbar elements. That is all basically completely broken. And so as far as I know, a lot of apps like Overcast, Call Sheet by Casey Liss, or Steve Troughton Smith's apps are basically just not implementing any of that at all. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But
yeah.
Yep, probably September 15th is what I'm hoping for, because that's what I'm working around as my imaginary deadline for all of my articles around that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be exciting, isn't it? This next couple of weeks, a lot of stuff coming. Let's talk about our featured setup this week. We rounded up some of the best dual monitor setups that we've seen over the years, and of course, a dual monitor setup is where you have two screens. For some reason, this looks like a 4-monitor setup to me. But I guess there's two main monitors. What we're seeing here is a MacBook Pro by the looks of it, which is plugged into a pair of possibly portable screens. Well, one looks like a portable screen, maybe.
They're not portable screens. Those are just two ultra-wide monitors.
Oh, I see. And
this person has decided, I want a lot of screens, but I also don't want to break my neck. So he has them vertically on top of each other, which is not typically what you do with an ultra-wide screen. I guess maybe he doesn't own a swivel chair, and so he can't swivel left and right. So what he's decided is he has he's followed the ergonomic rule. His top ultra-wide curved monitor is at his eye level, but the lower one, the second one, is lower, almost down to the surface of the desk and pointed up at an angle. So it's very low. And then beneath that, he has a standard Apple Magic keyboard and Magic mouse. So I guess he doesn't care about the ergonomics of his hands, but his neck is allegedly protected with this setup. So
yeah, it really is unusual, isn't it? I've never seen a monitor mounted like that, pointing up at you. But it actually looks like it would kind of work, wouldn't it? I can imagine that being actually kind of useful.
And if you look at the image at the top of the post, it talks about it, it looks a whole lot more sane and a lot less behind the scenes kind of weird.
You only really see the bizarreness of the angles and everything from the side angle that we're leading with here. But yeah, there's another picture that looks a little more reasonable. Interestingly, so he has those two screens in the middle, the MacBook Pro to the side, and an iPad Pro over on the left. He's got two standing studio monitor speakers on either side, so he got good sound. He has a webcam, but he's attached the webcam to the lower monitor, so it's sort of in the middle, and I imagine that can't be a very flattering angle. So
yeah, it'd be a lot of chin.
Yeah. Straight up the nose shot.
And a weird ring light at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pointing down and not
very odd.
Outwards. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's got a couple of nice monitor arm for mounting the monitors. I mean, that looks like a pretty sturdy mount.
Oh yeah. He also has another sort of arm to the right of the desk. You can't really see what he has on top of it, but it looks like it's a microphone arm. That seems to be the only piece missing from the whole getup here. But
yeah, and these are 34-inch ultra-wide 4K monitors. So I mean, they're gonna have high resolution. That's a lot of screen space, and with the MacBook there too, and the iPad Pro. That's a lot of screens.
I'm always so jealous when I see these. I mean, there's nothing on his desk. Nothing.
Yeah. He's
A
done a
couple
lot
of,
of cleanup.
I'm sorry. There's 2 coasters or something.
And you can see he has a cleaning cloth hiding underneath the laptop stand. So I guess it's right there. You can just reach around behind it and clean off his laptop screen
Yeah.
if he invites somebody over and they accidentally touch his screen. Hopefully he's not touching it himself because he knows better.
Jeez.
But overall, I'd say this is a pretty pleasant setup. As much as I dislike, MacBooks and I dislike multiple monitors, I find myself pretty attracted to this setup because it's really tidy. And you know what? He has a lot of natural light coming in. He's got a bright room. So many of these setups are like, they look like they could be in somebody's like dim, dark basement that they've just plastered over with like an IKEA table and some sound pianos. But no, this is pretty nice. He's got 2 windows, one to the side, one in front of him. Pretty clean. He doesn't even have a fancy keyboard, but I'm still like, yeah, I might get some work done at this station.
I thought the room looked pretty grim. It does in this picture anyway. With the beige shades and it's definitely in the picture we're showcasing here. It's definitely not natural lighting, is it? Is that natural lighting?
No. But the other picture, it was taken like during the daytime, and you can see the light coming in. I mean, there's also a rich brown desk, and my feelings about that. that might be a bias as well that I have. What do the two of you think? Would you work here?
It's okay. Yeah, I quite like the most interesting thing is that lower curved display. The way having the 2 of them stacked up on top of each other. Like you said, most people's would probably put them side by side, so you'd have 70 inches of screen stretching from the left to the right, and you'd have to physically move your head to check them out. But this is actually quite a good solution to that, like stack them on top of each other.
Well,
I can see it actually being pretty functional.
One thing I don't like about it is that because he has 2 curved monitors and they're at a different angle from each other, you have a weird gap, like egg football shaped gap between the 2 monitors because you can't really line it up straight because they aren't straight. That would probably bother me in actual usage.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be like if he'd stacked them completely vertical, flat against each other. I wonder whether they would still be usable.
Yeah, then he probably
right?
wouldn't get that ergonomics that he's hoping for.
Is this ergonomic?
Yeah, he says all the monitors, everything is carefully mounted and angled for the best ergonomics, resulting in no eye or neck strain.
Even if he's looking at the MacBook Pro screen?
That I don't know. Probably not. He has a MacBook Pro on a stand, so it's not like he's looking,
Most ergonomic setups are more obviously ergonomic. They have like an ergonomic keyboard or something like that, don't they? It screams ergonomics. This one doesn't scream ergonomics to me, but I trust the guy. I trust he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very cool. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
I give the side picture, I thought like, oh my God, 3 out of 10. But the top one looks great. I think, are those guitar picks on there? He says it's a recording setup, so...
okay.
I'm going to give it a 9, man. I like it.
I'd give it, I think, a 4 out of 5.
So that's 4.5. I give it, okay. Oh, boy. I just love talking about people's setups, and I look around my room, and it's like something exploded.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't do a setups on our own setups. That's...
I'd have to tidy mine up a bit. Mine's a real disaster.
Mm-hmm. We got some people talking in the Cult Club about their setups, and my God, some of our people, you'd be amazed what they're working with. One of our govs sent like a horror photo of like a back office that they're using, and they're like, I felt so ashamed hearing about the setup segment on the podcast that like I've been encouraged to clean up this room. So we're creating positive change here. And he sent a work in progress. He sent an update picture. So we're creating positive change in the world here.
Jeez, I wish it was applying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, looking at the post, there are some other setups in the post I like a lot better. And it's a good post, I think. Dave did a good job of rounding up all these different dual monitor setups. There's a pretty good variety. Every kind of like monitor and configuration you could possibly think of. And he has some good tips here too about the different equipment that people are using to run these, pretty elaborate setups here.
God, every one I look at it and just go, why can't my life be like this?
Yeah, right. Well, this is Instagram perfect, isn't it? I mean, obviously they tied it up. I mean, I'd love to see what maybe these setups look like in on a day-to-day basis. Do you think people keep? I guess these are these. I think the
Lewis,
kind of person.
you complained about how you can never keep your desk busy, but it's not like you're working with like physical products. You have an all digital, all remote, all online job. What is your desk cluttered with?
Oh my God.
Rubbish. There's
It
rubbish
is
everywhere.
just filled with crap. The cable
What crap?
management.
You don't.
Oh my God. Well, for one thing, there's always a constant flow of new products that I'm looking at and trying to think how to write about. And I don't know. Just recently, I've been adding lights and doing different things, and it's like, oh God, it's just gotten more and more out of hand.
Let's move on to our question from our reader, which we've kind of been subtly making fun of all the whole show. This comes from an anonymous reader, and he says, "When are the rest of you old fuddy-duddies going to be moving off of X and move on to Mastodon?"
I'll say we got a lot of questions after I, made a rather desperate call for questions. But I saw this question come and I was like, all right, this is what we're doing first.
Well, this is because Griffin is the only one of us who is on Mastodon.
That's not true.
Well, I guess there's an official Cult of My account on Mastodon, isn't there?
Lewis also has a personal account on
Oh,
Mastodon.
are you on it, on Lewis?
Oh, yeah. And I actually, after I saw this issue, which, by the way, I thought for sure this was just you typing in a question, Griffin.
No, I mean,
That's why it's anonymous.
I was really hoping they gave us a name, but they didn't. It was an anonymous question. You just hit the text button.
Yeah, his
at the
name's
end of the show.
Johnny Appleseed, right? So I saw this yesterday, and I said, why not? And my first thought was that old fuddy-duddy is redundant, but you know what? I realized it's not. I did a little research. Fuddy-duddy just means old-fashioned. It doesn't necessarily mean old.
It's a clarifying statement. Old fuddy-duddy is accurately describing how old you are.
An old-fashioned person. And so I did. I went over to Mastodon. I went and I looked around. I was looking at the vibrant conversations with 3, 4, even maybe 5 participants. And
okay, Lewis, you're following 2 people on Mastodon.
I know.
Not gonna, sorry. 4 people on Mastodon.
I doubled my following yesterday.
Yeah.
Not my following, my number of people I'm following. There is something to be said for Mastodon. I mean, it seems like to me, it reminds me kind of like Reddit. It seems like a more focused, more sort of, I don't know, knowledge and action-oriented kind of thing. Like let's actually communicate about things in a sort of sane, rational, and
reasonable.
Yeah, just
helpful.
Collegial is a word that I'm looking for. It seems like a very collegial space, and I stare at Twitter a lot. Looking for stuff for the job, just getting sidetracked down crazy, whatever they're called, bottomless pits, rabbit holes. Twitter's more fun, more entertaining, more outrageous, more. And more news-oriented. I mean, maybe if I followed, the right people on Mastodon, maybe I could tap into it for something that is actually useful to my, personal well-being or my career or anything else. I could see why you like it, Griffin. I also don't know how many social networks I have room for in my life. I mean, I don't like posting to any of them just because it's like, what do you get out of it? I mean, it's not like I'm, getting a free dinner and going to a restaurant and doing a stupid influencer thing. I mean, that kind of crap drives me crazy. I don't like posting stuff to these social networks and giving them, fuel for their economic engine. It kind of drives me crazy in a way.
Well, amazingly, if you look like a really good metric is like that I pay attention to is the ratio of how many posts you have and how many followers you have versus how many followers you have versus how many people you're following. Amazingly, you have 37 followers for having only posted 3 times on Mastodon.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna spend more time on it. I'm gonna. And maybe I'll learn something. I mean, as you always point out, I mean, there's vibrant Apple developer communities on there, and I mean, it's kind of stupid to ignore it.
Yeah.
Well, so
Because, often we're having like very different conversations than seemingly what you, I mean, where these intersect is in our private Slack. I'll post interesting things that I see on Mastodon to the rest of our writers and editors. They'll post things from Twitter that they'll turn into articles, into our Slack, and that's where we intersect in some minor way. But from what I see, people on Twitter are having very different conversations than the people on Mastodon. Because there's many more developers and a lot of the people from like the whole Macworld crowd of the Apple community, like Twit, that whole Relay podcast, all of those people are on Mastodon and left Twitter ages ago. So if that's a community of people that you used to follow years ago, well, they're still around if you're on Mastodon. And I'll say, like, I have more followers on Mastodon than I ever had on Twitter. Like, I think now I'm far exceeding that. But
we should check it out. I've never really checked it out. I checked out Blue Sky, and I used one of those tools that helped you follow all the same people that you were following on Twitter. It matched them up. It actually was only a fraction, I think, of because a lot of people hadn't moved over.
yeah.
But I found Twitter to be a lot more usable now that I've been blocking. If there's anything I don't like, I block that person immediately, and I think that has affected the algorithm. So I see a lot less of the stuff that I don't like. But of course, it's kind of where the action is still, even though I have a lot of misgivings about it, and I don't like the direction it's turned in. Like Lewis said, it used to be, and still is somewhat, the best news channel ever invented, for sure. There was just, a super great way to find out exactly what was going on, super fast, great way to get ideas, great way to keep tab on what people in the Apple community were doing. And it still has that. It's still really, it's still, vibrant. It's and active. That's the main advantage. Is just there's so much action on there. There's so many people posting so many things that it hasn't been replicated at all. Like I was trying to look for wallpapers, something as simple as wallpapers on Blue Sky. None. In fact, it's just all I see is bird pictures. People putting up pictures of bloody birds. It's full of twitches. I don't know why.
I will say that, like, Mastodon compared to Blue Sky, Mastodon is kind of trying to be like its own new sort of thing. Like, even though it started as like, open source Twitter, it's sort of developing into its own thing. Blue Sky is very explicitly, we are just recreating Twitter. So like the interface is virtually exactly the same, even though it's like technically a federated network. The way that it works compared to Mastodon is really more like everybody is still on the same server. So it's a lot more centralized, just like Twitter, how Twitter is centralized. There seems to be a broader slice of people who moved from Twitter to Blue Sky. So like, I think Hank Green is on Blue Sky now. He never would have joined Mastodon or like he did briefly and then had like one popular post and then like never really came back to it. Like every time I do still have my Twitter account. I do occasionally log into it just to see if, how many people have followed me for no reason, just to laugh at them. But anytime I browse the home timeline or the home view, it's like the vibe of the room has changed. There is still Twitter. It does still have activity, but it has a different kind of activity than it was when I left in November 2022. Like, and I like how it is on Mastodon because it's all a bunch of gay nerds, and that's the people who I want to hang out with online.
It's more like a library and less like a thriving like town square or something.
I mean, yeah, sure. If you only follow 4 people, then yeah, it'll be a little quiet.
How many people do you follow on Mastodon?
I follow around 130. Honestly, it's harder to keep up with than when I was on Twitter. Like it's bustling with activity.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that as a tip to check out Mastodon too. And how's the Cult of Mac account doing on Mastodon?
Oh, yeah.
13 followers. I mean, we post to it every day, right? Automatically, we post to all these things. The cult of Mac.
1,600 followers on Cult of Mac on Mastodon. It's a great way to follow Cult of Mac.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our review section, and I'm going to switch my camera here. I'm going to talk about the PowerBeats Pro 2, which are the new PowerBeats, which came out how long? 6 months ago. Here we are. Here's the new PowerBeats Pro 2. I got these as an open box. I was way too cheap to pay the $250 price MSRP, but then I think we were doing a deals post, and Best Buy had an open box for $107, I think, for these. So I was like,
oh, wow.
I'd always been really curious about the clip-on ear design, especially for riding my bike. So I was like, even though I already have about 200 pairs of headphones and earbuds, I just couldn't resist just to check them out. And these are the first clip-on over-the-ear design earbuds I've ever used. And so
I feel like that design would be good for riding a bike, because if I had AirPods in my bike, I'd be terrified of them falling out of my ears and then suddenly they're lost 500 feet behind me.
Right, exactly. And that is exactly why I got them, because I don't know if these are the ones. I don't know if you can see here, but yeah, my AirPods Pro have fallen out of my ears so many times while I've been riding my bike that they're pretty beat up. And this is how they compare in size to the case.
Wow.
You
Quite
can
a
see
bit
that.
bigger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's way bigger. This is a big chunky case.
And
it's pretty.
interestingly, the case opens, like a hamburger, the long flat way, which is an interesting change in style.
Yeah. But the case is pretty beefy. I mean, it doesn't really, it's not going to go in your skinny jeans, but it's not, super cumbersome. I find it fine in my back pocket of my bike jacket.
How thick is it? Can you show us the bottom of each of them?
It's pretty like this.
Oh,
Woo,
yeah, it's thicker as
wow.
well. Okay.
Yeah, it's way thicker. It's easily double the volume of the AirPod Pro.
Kind of looks like small egg shaped or
case.
sized.
The one nice thing it has is it does have wireless charging as well as USB-C. So you can just plunk this onto a Qi charger and it charges up. And the case, the earbuds themselves get 10 hours of battery life. And with the case, it's extended to 35 hours, which is pretty good, pretty competitive. Yeah, and they adhere magnetically. They plop right into the case really well. But the one thing I did want to show you, that the first thing I liked about them was the box.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a real kick out of the box. It's a bit beat up because, as you can see, it's a Best Buy open box, and I think it's missing the. There was I guess a nice looking cardboard sleeve that went around it to make it more attractive.
Looks like a briefcase.
Yeah, it has the thing here. But what's nice about it is that it's just cardboard. And I mean, even Johnny Ive isn't going to like this, but Apple's packaging, has started to drive me crazy because it's so nice. You can't throw it away. You can't recycle it. I had an insane collection of Apple boxes, literally, I don't know, 30, 40 maybe, which I got rid of about a year ago. And I felt really guilty about them because you can't really recycle a lot of them. They had a lot of plastic. A lot of it was glued together, plastic glued to cardboard. It's not easily recyclable. This is it says here 100% fiber-based packaging. And this I can just chuck in the recycling without any qualms. And I feel good about it. Here are the spare earbuds. You get a range of spare earbuds. And actually, I probably put the wrong ones in. I used the XL ones. I probably should be using the large ones. I did the AirFit tip test, and they're the ones that it said I should use.
You said your AirPods fall out of your ears all the time, so maybe that's accurate, though.
Yeah, well, these are super secure. They're not. These do not go anywhere at all. They once you clip them in, and you have to kind of really they do kind of jam into your ears, into your ear canals. But they're very comfortable.
How comfortable is the wing around the back? Do you feel like it pinching your? No
problem at all. I haven't had any issues with that. Even with my glasses on, because the arms of my glasses go in the same. It's sort of ear, glasses, PowerBeats, clip, and then skull. So there's a lot going on there.
The ears are a busy area when you've got those in.
Oh yeah, and then also I've got my helmet strapped on as well, so the helmet straps are in this vicinity as well. But no, I haven't had any fit issues, any comfort issues. They've been very comfortable. They stay super secure. There's the only thing is the wind noise. Is that there's still a lot of wind noise. So on a bike, it's only when I'm going slowly up a hill that I can hear perfectly, even with the ANC on. The wind noise. What I'm going to do is you can get these weird products that go over your helmet straps that are like, those baffles you get on for microphones, the furry microphone covers that block wind noise. So I haven't got them yet. I'm gonna order a pair that you put on the front strap of your helmet, so they are at the front of your ear, and apparently they cut down 85-90% of wind noise, which makes it easier to hear.
Oh yeah, that'd be smart.
When you go along. They have buttons. So the Beats logo is the main button, and you can set this up just like with AirPods to either control your music or to control Siri. So I have it set up so that the left ear controls Siri. I press this and it brings Siri up, and the right ear is for controlling the music and play, pause, 2 beats to answer a phone call, 2 double click to end a phone call, and double click to go forward, I think, on a music track, and triple click to go backwards. But the nicest button is this one here, which is the rocker button, which you can set up to do volume up and down. And these are really easy to find and easy to click when you're riding along, or if you're at the gym or whatever. So the controls I think are really good, the physical controls. And the sound. Now, the sound of these things is fantastic. I really like that Beats, the way that they tune the Beats to be a little more bass heavy. And for the kind of awful music that my wife hates that I listen to when I'm riding, which is mostly sort of electronica and dance music from the UK, and Afro beats. Now I'm really getting to Afro house. Some of that is really fantastic, and it sounds great through these. It really does sound good. The ANC is not the best. It's not the best ANC. I use it when I've been walking to work, and down the busy San Francisco streets, you can still hear buses and a lot of and a bit of traffic noise. They don't work as well as the AirPods Pro 2 for the ANC, but I think generally it's okay. I think it's adequate for most people. I compared it to a couple of other ANC earbuds, and it's way better than some of the less expensive earbuds that I have. But the feature I was most excited about was the built-in heart rate monitoring, and you can see them here. This is the heart rate monitor right next to the silicone tip here, and it has, just like on your Apple Watch, there's a green LED that shines a very bright green light. And you can actually see this if you're wearing these at nighttime. You can see people's ears growing green. And then there's the sensor there. This is the big problem with these. Like, I was super excited because the heart rate monitoring, I keep on forgetting my chest strap when I go out for a bike ride, but I never forget my earbuds. So having heart rate monitoring built in seemed like a fabulous idea. And I was super excited when they connected to my Wahoo bike computer. No problem. There goes heart rate straight away. But then you can't stream music. And I was like, what? If you and this is true if you connect it to any gym equipment or anything that any other equipment that is going to be recording your heart rate monitoring, you cannot stream music at the same time. And this is not necessarily the fault of the PowerBeats. It's the fault of the Bluetooth codec. You can't connect it to 2 devices simultaneously. And so you can record your heart rate monitoring if you're using your iPhone. But the problem there is that there's only maybe about half a dozen or 8 apps that currently support it. And you can't actually do it directly either in the Apple Health app or in the Activity app. You have to have some third party. The data does go to the Health app, but you can't see it. So you have to use some third party app. When more apps support it, then it'll be more useful, because then if you can record your heart through your phone, through an app, at the moment it's too limited. And of course, this is going to have an effect when the AirPods Pro 3 come out, which may be as soon as this fall event on the 9th. If they support heart rate monitoring, built-in heart rate monitor too, they're going to have the same drawbacks, which is you won't be able to stream music if you're connected to a machine at the gym or your bike computer. It's like a major drawback for this, built-in heart rate monitoring in earbuds, and it's the fault. It's not Apple's fault. It's the fault of the Bluetooth codec that you can't connect to 2 devices simultaneously. But if you see an open box for $100, I would recommend.
Or if you don't care about the heart rate monitoring and you just want AirPods quality sound and ease of use, but with a fancier, like more secure, sportier design.
Yeah. Right, absolutely, yeah. And of course, they're well integrated into the Apple system, so pairing is super easy. It shares the profile so across iCloud, so you don't have to set it up again for all your different devices. It works with all your devices that are on the same account. Yeah, there's a lot going for them, and I actually like this color too. I definitely I wanted the orange ones. They come in bright orange, but these are the because it was an open box. This was the only color that was available.
I actually
like it.
I actually went and looked to see if there were other, because I thought there were like exciting colors. That's like a Pro Max phone color. It's like quicksand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting putty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
all right, well, let's wrap it up there. I think that's all the CultCast we have for you this week. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. If you want to get more of this of the fun, Twitter. Lewis is on Twitter.
And Mastodon.
Lewis Wallace. And Mastodon. So, is it the same handle, Lewis? Lewis?
Might be an M in there.
Lewis. Okay, well, give it a try. Lewis Wallace or Lewis M. Wallace. Griffin is on Mastodon and on Blue Sky, but Mastodon is where you should get Griffin. D. Griffin Jones. And I'd like you to sign up for my newsletter, which I write every day, the Cult of Mac Today newsletter, which you can get at newsletters.cultofmac.com. And I highly recommend that. It's the best newsletter you're ever going to read. So send us a text link, please, or put a comment in YouTube. Send us a question. We shall try to answer it on the show. That's been the CultCast, the best hour-long Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. And I want to thank everyone for listening, for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good dental surgery, Lewis.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What time is it? You got to run?
No, I have to leave. I think I need to leave the house by like 11:30, 11:45. And it's not, today's not surgery. Today is, to be clear, taking off the temporary crown that is tormenting me and replacing it with a permanent crown.
So today they're just taking it off and they're going later to get a new one?
No. Today they take off the temp and put on the permanent crown. That's not surgery. That's like plucking something off and gluing something on. The surgery was last Thursday after the CultCast when I went in and they yanked a tooth. That was exciting.